Shalom, Eliyokim, Cohen, Jews News Briefs, June 14th, 2011, the 12th day of Sivan on the Hebrew calendar, live from Jews News World Headquarters. We have an unbelievable show today. My top story is going to blow your socks off, if you're wearing socks. Theme song, courtesy of David Doan. That never gets old. Before we do anything, if anybody out there says Tehillim, I would like you to say Tehillim for Tzipporah Bat Rivka Ruckel. She's my great aunt. She's on a respirator. She's the matriarch of our family. I've lost my last two grandparents already this year. We don't really appreciate things until we don't have them anymore. So right after you're done with the show, call your grandparents wherever you are, wherever they are. Tell them that you love them. There's nothing grandparents love more on earth than hearing from their grandchildren. Alright, so our sponsor for today is an unusual one. I have the coolest Facebook friends in the whole world. They keep emailing me, asking me if I would plug their things on the show. So this one I'm happy to plug. There's something called longhorn/project.org. It's a bunch of cattlemen that are helping the ranchers up in the north of Israel. The Muslims are chasing them off their land, they're mutilating their cattle. So this is helping them find desert cattle that not only fit their environment, but now they're also guarding them and training people to guard them. This is an unbelievable thing. I'm going to post the link below. I hope everybody checks it out. Please donate. The person that sent this to me on his picture is sitting on a horse. This guy's like a Jew straight out of Rhinestone Cowboy. So anyone that has anything they want to share with me that would like me to plug, email me at eliyokim@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, if you want to tell me I'm a complete loser, whatever, just send it right to my inbox. Alright, so we have Grains of Sand here by Shifra Shomron. My quote today is unbelievable. But Nevedically wasn't to see its gates flooded with people sailing through to stop the disengagement. The 15,000 people never got past Kfar Maimon. The police set up a fence around Kfar Maimon and threatened to use live fire on anyone trying to break out of Kfar Maimon towards Gush Katif. Live fire on Jews? We don't even use live fire on Syrians up until, they're literally in our country. The insanity of disengagement has apparently, not lessened any, because they want to keep doing this again on a scale, vastly greater than Gush Katif. It's time that people wake up and realize that this land is not ours to give away. Anytime we do, nothing but misery and terror ensues. Let's just review history for a change. Speaking of history, let's dive into Jewish history. This one is not so pleasant. On this day in 1940, Auschwitz was opened. Approximately 2.5 million people were killed in Auschwitz. Another 500,000 died of starvation disease. The overwhelming majority of these were Jews. This was not that long ago, people. 1940 is only 71 years ago. A lot of the people that were involved in this are still alive, and the Holocaust is slowly but surely seeping, through the memories of the Jewish people. And that cannot happen because people say never again, but if you're intermarrying, if you're not following Torah, if you have no connection to Judaism, you're causing it to happen again. So let's all just smarten up. Alright, today's quote is a great one. The survival of Jews, their resistance to destruction, their endurance under absolutely peculiar conditions, and the fateful role played by them in history, all these point to the particular and mysterious foundations of their destiny. Meaning God. This person obviously didn't feel like saying that, but I do. Alright, today's Torah tidbit is an amazing one. We all know that Hanukkah is a very popular and well-known Jewish holiday, but it has no mention in the Torah. Never once did it say you're going to have Hanukkah in the Torah. But we know that everything is alluded to, at least in the Torah. So where is Hanukkah alluded to? Well, Hanukkah starts on the 25th of Kislev on the Hebrew calendar. So the 25th word of the Torah is Or, meaning light. We light candles on Hanukkah. And we honor the Jews encamped in 42 different encampments in the desert. Well, the 25th encampment was called Chajmona. And we all know that the Jews that fought against the Greeks were from the Chajmonian dynasty, the group of Cohen. So everything's alluded to in the Torah. There's no possible way that a human could have done this. If you're thinking, and it's just a lucky guess by the person that wrote it, there's about 1 million of these that I could also give you. I could do a show every day for the next trillion years and never run out of these Torah tidbits. So my goal with the show, one of them, is not that just that people get good news, is that people just take 5-10 minutes a day minimum to learn something about Judaism. Call a Rav, start learning with him, do something to connect you to your heritage. Alright, today's top story is also our happy time segment, which is very rare, because most of the news that I talk about is complete nonsense. But here's our happy time segment. This top story is just awesome. Every guy out there has a man crush. I didn't say that every guy out there is gay. Every guy out there has a man crush. Someone that they look up to, that they wish that they could, play golf with, they wish they could, have a beer with at dinner. I also have a man crush. I have no problem admitting it. My man crush is Minister of Knesset Michael Ben-Ari, who, if I was in the Knesset, I think I would do just about every single thing that this person does. So we all know that in Israel right now, there's a monster problem with Sudanese immigrants. So, do I want Sunnis to stay in Sudan and get massacred? No. I also don't want them infiltrating Israel, and any place they go to, crime just goes through the roof. So the leftists in Israel say, no, let's bring all of the Sudanese here. It'll be super neato. What they don't tell you is that they don't want to live near these Sudanese. All these people in Tel Aviv that live in northern Tel Aviv, the wealthy area, have nothing to do with these Sudanese immigrants that are all in southern Tel Aviv, and the crime there right now is out of control. So Michael Ben-Ari and a few other activists did. This is going to blow you away! They brought 50 Sudanese refugees to a swimming pool, a public pool in northern Tel Aviv, where all the wealthy people, congregate over the summer. You hear things like, "Oh, Rivki, could you pass me my suntan lotion, please?" So they came to the gate, these ministers of Knesset with kippas, these activists, and 50, black Sudanese immigrants that in this part of Tel Aviv stand out like a sore thumb. I'm not saying anything against black people. I'm just trying to set the scene for you. We have this really elitist, lefty, liberal pool in northern Tel Aviv, all white people, and then 50 black Sudanese immigrants come to the pool. So they get to the gate. The pool's operators refused to let them in. So they said, why are you refusing to let them in? And they said, well, they don't have swimming, they don't have swimming trunks. They don't have shorts. So, Michael Ben-Ari knew that this was going to happen, so they brought a huge plastic bag of swimming trunks. 50 swimming trunks in the plastic bag. So the pool operators, again, no. And Itamar Ben-Gvir, who's probably the coolest person in Israel, also, he's a right-wing activist, he holds a law degree. He said, if you don't let them in, we're going to put a monster lawsuit on this pool, and we're going to win because you have to let them in. So they ended up letting them in. Half the people that were at the pool were like completely outraged. The other half, treated the immigrants warmly and whatever. Imagine the scene that I'm describing. These hypocritical, ignorant fools that want to give away land, they want every immigrant in the world to come to Israel, as long as they don't live in their neighborhood, have this massive infiltration of Sudanese immigrants coming to their pool. And the immigrants behaved very well. There was no running by the pool. They threw away their wrappers, and apparently there's no urination in the pool. So I think we should do it again. I think the next time it should be 5,000 Sudanese immigrants, and I would like to go along on this next one. So that's my top story. I hope everybody will email me, the YouTube comments below. Tell me what you think about this. I think this is the greatest story ever. My man crush of Michael Ben-Ari is now infinitely greater than it was yesterday before I read this article. I think this is phenomenal. So, yesterday's poll question was, what do you think about more pressure being put on Israel by the United States government? And I'm only going to read one quote because I don't have much time. I have a lot of stuff to get to. The very idea of a quote-unquote Palestinian state, must be shattered completely. Israel hasn't had a friend in the White House since Reagan, and has never had a friend in the State Department. Now Europe is trying to get on the bandwagon of this Obama suicidal peace plan. It's time Israel just says, no! Enough! Leave me alone! My niece, when I used to bother her, she would say, "Yiv me alone!" Israel needs to say, "Yiv me alone!" to the world and just shut up. Okay, let's move on. That was our top story. We're pretty much going to crash and burn from here on out because I don't have anything good to say the rest of the show, but things are important. The Palestinian Arab states are now whining because the other Arab states are not giving them money. They're like a little kid that's not getting, you know, his weekly allowance. You know what? If you guys spent more time working and not, I don't know, throwing stones and picketing and honor killings and just being complete garbage, quote-unquote, human beings, you wouldn't have this problem. You know, you'd actually be earning money. Your government would be able to function. You'd be doing things other than, you know, worrying about the destruction of Israel. Stop the whining. And speaking about whining, you know, everyone in the Western world was like so happy that Lebanon was forming a new government and it was gonna, you know, help stem the tide of Hezbollah power. Well, listen to what the moderate new Lebanese prime minister just said. Let's go to work immediately according to the principles and basis that we have affirmed our commitment to several times, namely defending Lebanon's sovereignty and its independence, and liberating land that remains under the occupation of the Israeli enemy. Does that sound like a moderate leader to you? Does this guy seem like someone that, I don't know, maybe wants to turn over a new leaf and accept the olive branch that Israel's been extending to all of our enemies for some stupid reason for the last 63 years? No, it doesn't seem that way. Apparently there's this thing called Gay Girl in Damascus. It was a big loser in Scotland. That's what the blog should have been, big loser in Scotland. But he pretended it was like this gay girl in Damascus and all these things. I don't really care about this article. The thing that bothers me is this. This guy had a lot of viewers, and he was posting complete trash. I post the most truthful news in the history of the planet, and we're only getting a few thousand people a day. So I would like to change that. So right now, everybody, please just click share. You know, invite one new friend to this page, Facebook page or our YouTube page. Let's get this news out there because no one out there is telling the truth. And I know a lot of you out there think what I think. You're just too afraid to say it because you don't want to be labeled a radical or a whatever. But I don't care about being labeled that. So please help me get 100,000 people. We have a robust staff here that does nothing but get you the best news. I would name all of them right now, but I can't, and you probably don't care anyway. Please help us out. Alright, apparently in Italy there's a monster wave of anti-Semitism and demonization of Jews and Israel that's been forming. And on the flip side, Israel is now going to train Italian teachers to teach about the Holocaust. I don't know why we keep sucking up to countries that flat out just don't like us. But we're not going to be sending teachers to Italy, or they're going to be coming here, whichever one, to teach them about the Holocaust. I don't know what's to teach anybody about the Holocaust. If you don't know what happened by now, the world hates Jews, they killed 6 million of us. Not to mention all the descendants that could have come from these people. It's probably 50, 60 million by now. There's not much to teach. Just open up any history book that isn't, you know, created by Saudi Arabia, and you'll see exactly what the Holocaust is about, and you'll see that it's happening again now. It's starting to happen again. In Europe, in these liberal parts of America, the world is slowly, you know, converging and forming around Israel, and that's exactly what the prophecies say at the end of times, that the world is going to invade Israel as a united force. And you think, oh, that could never happen, but it's happening! It's happening right now! We don't have any friends. Maybe Canada, but that's going to be short-lived. What else do we have here? Let's see. This is a great one. It's, a study has shown that cinnamon can stem the effects of Alzheimer's. You might be thinking, who cares? Well, if you end up having Alzheimer's, you're going to care. But the reason I'm pointing this out is the professor that started this research only did so because in the Torah, when it talks about the, you know, the Cohen Gadol, the high priest, the ointment that he uses, one of the ingredients was cinnamon. So he thought that that had to have some sort of, like, effect medically. So he started this experiment, and it ends up turning out that it does have an effect medically. Alright, let's play about Jews or no Jew. Jew or no Jew. Gabrielle Giffords, you know, the one that was shot in the head in Arizona. Everyone thinks that she's Jewish. Is she? No. Her father was Jewish. Her mother is not. So while I'm thrilled that she's getting better, saying that she's Jewish is a complete falsehood, so please don't say that. But I am very glad that she is getting better. Newt Gingrich says that Obama's policies are suicide for America. I thought we already knew that by now. Oh, and then there's that American kid that got beat up by Israeli police. Go watch the video. I'm going to post it here. We're running out of time. Everyone please share this link. Remember, it's not news unless it's Jews news. Hope everybody has a great